people of Akwa Ibom State. Good morning, my neighbor, mighty rise and shine. My name is Uyai Anyeken. Thanks.
Join us today on this episode of Rise and Shine. How are you? With a migraine, but I woke up this morning fresh and sound.
Detailed stories of things trending, and some very top is the story of 4 newborn alleged negligence on the part of the hospital. The babies died due to alleged negligence on the part of the government area of Delta State. We see the victims of adding that there was no power supply in the hospital. This is so negligence on the part of the doctor. And I mean, I've gone through was drunk, and then the reports of and one of the family members said he even bought fuel. Sorry, it's a sorry situation.
I actually find shocking out of the whole to deliver. First off, we say that it's get proper assistance to cater for the 4 women who were actually, and then electricity went out. He was only the one on duty. From Delta State has already come up to say that of the doctor, him being drunk, as the families came out to say, or hands on that day.
Yeah, I mean, when you say the recorded the fact that we are beginning to experience brain drain, where causing medicine in Nigeria is not as lush anymore, so people are looking for one person on duty to cater for a number of women coming. There's supposed to be like nurses and other people that will help, because there was nothing that could be done in that moment, but later she began in sight at the moment. So it's a really sorry situation. Other experiences in the hospital is a really sorry situation on them, but we see that the Commissioner for Health ground, because of course, like we rightly said, the doctor being drunk on duty, that bridges your ability to investigating the situation there in Delta State. Come out to say the case is going to be investigated. 4 infants lost on the same night of delivery.
You mentioned something about trauma, people who are yet to deliver, and the best health persons do advise go to the hospital, and all of them lost their babies. So what message would that be sending to outside traditional birth attendants to use them, but that are at high?
Oftentimes they do not have the medical. I share your sentiment about this. There's going to be a lot of people, a lot of them will not want to deliver there anymore, because there's already like someone who didn't do due diligence to his personnel. Is even one thing. Equipment. Why wouldn't the hospital have power supply? I mean, I and Janice discussed, one supply. Sorry, man, we don't have power supply. So what the woman did was for her to get operated on so that she doesn't die. So when and the administration of every hospital, why strike? Because of welfare-related issues, and he lied to fuel generators that will run your hospital with monies to do things for themselves. Cheats the system, and the report would have been different.
Well, if you want to first of all say that out for better pay, greener
opportunities,
enabling environment for them to excel, to be investigated. First off, how were properly funded at some point, and if they were even also the state level, federal level, and also local level, to try to
say that we do not get to a day where we now need to start importing doctors. Really needs to come up very quick, and that Sapele Central Hospital needs to be investigated at our state as a whole. It becomes a widespread thing. Infant mortality is not nice. It's not nice. It's not right. But at this point, we would. In days to come, the follow-up stories will come out that there will be transparency in the course of this investigation meted out. I know justice cannot ameliorate the pain that that's when we go to the next story. A lot is happening in
the we have this one where a group of women on the floor on the main road to the terrain of spirituality, anxiety, bring out new economic Methodist Church,
yes, it's Methodist Church,
for coming out in their number. Feel these women all thought it wise that,
and then we'll come back to that conversation.
From the Methodist Church in Nigeria, they are right here, are lying on the ground. They are praying to come and help out their state. This is the state of which we formerly call open filling station.
No matter how things are done in a nation, it was as a nation. Every nation is founded on principal energy is. So, but then if a force, and pray for the fool who says that there is no God. So anyone that on what Nigerians say, may Nigeria not happen to you for you to happening, not pushed these women to want to have an open, yes, a popular junction, it's all the prayers of your daughters. Yeah, really, because now I'm not talking about coming out to junctions to lie down, whether you're a Christian, whatever you believe in. You better believe that you need the direction. Nigeria does need direction.
Nigeria does need Abia State, Abia State, yes, for them to, for God to, you haven't. Okay, so I know roads. First off, for me, traveling by road is that are clear. You know that they are coming to Akwa Ibom State, that there you see condition.
Yes.
And these women have seen it all, and they're coming from a people who work for these women.
Really?
Because coming out, we need to do something about it. It's something that, yes, we need to commend them. Coming out to do this is actually something we should emulate.
It's strong.
About women riots, remember there's strong forces of women.
Ways that women have led revolutions, incidents. Now here, someone says, when you are done praying, that people have with regards to these, yes, because I am one of the proponents that keep saying, when we are shouting, getting your PVC and having it in your wallet does not count as if together. It's not just the work. So of all his creations, only Nigerians refuse to be proactive. This person is not okay, really. In Nigeria, you will not be able to hold your leaders accountable if we know what the other person is doing, when everybody literally, so talk less of holding the next person accountable. And I'm even saying that if statements in these coming elections, then we can begin to set up the systems to hold our faith with the women, the mothers who came out to do this. Quick run to the news brief desk, where we'll be hearing all of Spectrum.
Nigerian president, as stipulated by the Constitution. We do not have a federal.
Oh, my Lord, I want to say something. I want to say something here. Find those who literally murdered Abiola.
With the attempted murder of Hebrew.
He did not.
My Lord, the Matters Council is a leading
Adversary proceeding.
It's not, my Lord. This
A program that deals with legal issues and questions we face as citizens of this amazingly speaking.
Market, Forex market, cryptocurrencies, and NFTs booms. The fundamental news drives the market. This on Spectrum Television. Business 360, your prism to well-being.
Good morning. This is your morning news brief on Spectrum Live. There is nothing wrong with the Nigerians seeking university. Nigerians were studying in Ghana, Benin Republic, and Egypt. To development, the federal government has ordered ministries, the MDAs that failed to prepare their individual statements. Young constables were freshly recruited. The protesters who stormed strategic areas in the state's Okolode. Elsewhere, Indian High Commission with her diaspora in the last 3 years of its establishment, Erawa in Abuja. In health, vaccine production. The minister stated this when the ambassador for Unseen where Israeli Prime Minister Yair journalist Shireen Alka while she was covering a dress and a helmet when she was shot in the head in the Geneva with a defeat to Napoli by 1-4. turned from injury to make a brief cameo. But more in our news at 12. I am Mary Joseph. Let's head back to Brazil.
With the president, as stipulated by the Nigerian police.
No, my Lord, I want to say something. My Lord, if we cannot find those who literally murdered Abiola.
He never did.
He linked you with the attempted murder of Hebrew.
He did not.
This is an adversary proceeding. It's not, my Lord. This
A program that deals with legal issues and questions we face as citizens of this amazingly speaking.
Market, forex market, cryptocurrencies, and NFTs. News drives the market. This is Business 360, taking you to Business 360, your prism to world business.
Welcome back. A couple of things happening around the country, and we just returned from the news brief desk. To be a part of the conversation, join us on Facebook and phone numbers on our screen. Move up to the next story now, where we're seeing that some allegiances towards each other. We see Senator Dino Melayi is a spokesperson of the articles. Is a leading political elite kit making. Of course, we have seen in recent times how skill stalwarts and leaders have decided to use.
Actually, from the two main politicians, need to sit back and hope for who is a strong supporter of the Bollard Ahmed, Minister of Aviation. Elected their national chairman, Senator, making a statement trying to tackle what say, oh, no, this wasn't how you. It is something that we find hilarious.
Yes, very hilarious. Our political leaders, our political elites, people in their, their units within their political party. There's a lot of manhandling of information. It's a lot of drama coming from those people because Dino Melayi, who is one of the leading campaigner for the APC, and Ahmed Bola in whole process. I mean, in his home, he's expecting visitors, and did we send an invitation to Dino Melayi? And this laughter is free for Nigerians. Please let's have voice today.
FFK for a dinner. Please.
Just one night.
Security. Dino Melayi. Yes, sir. But there's a sign at the clowns and no gutter snipes. So
very funny the way they would, try to and all of that, trying to put the whole that Yorocha, you have said he is. So these are some of the tussles. Now we are beginning to experience when they already have issues of their own to handle. And with regards to having all the leading people in from the north had in a post on his social media, handed Melayi up on the statements credited to him on the recently that all the PDP got the former Senate president as national chairman. Now we raise. So we now comment that his comments lacked comprehension by Femi Fani Kayode, which has usual would rather not take that. And so this, and we just see the way they are manhandling and mishandling.
Coming 28th of September,
yes,
and he wasn't he's not the owner of some properties that
yeah,
are away from the real issue that is on ground. Some of these dramas are trying leaders. We don't care about who is drinking Gary or who is not drinking Gary to present what this candidate has in store for the citizens. We don't want going to
flag bearers for each political party.
So
people are trying to serve some kind of political distraction with regards to the situation in Delta's bullying governance. This coming election is our chance to start 8 years and become way better in 16 years, and go. We will not be. We are not amused actually. We can't be distracted during politics where we descend to enlightened as Femi Fani Kayode. I don't know what the English word now is. It's not befitting to another person. Just call the person names. It's PDP versus APC thing. Everyone has issues. Why attempting to cross feet and throw stones at another piece? So some of these elites also. So skit making now has also become. They will soon, look for a way to Anikayo. They have opened a new channel for skit making. And having set our guest to discuss the issue of the way at the fabric of every society. Akwa Ibom State handling the issue of tuberculosis in line with Dr. Anyekan, who
stipulated by the Constitution. We do not have a federal government police force.
We want to say something. I want to say something here. Perhaps literally murdered Abiola. Who are those people who
link you with the attempted murder of Hebrew?
He did not. My lord, the matters can't see. It's not, my lord. These cases are in court, my lord. I'm just reminding your lordship.
To this amazing country, Nigeria, legally speaking. Join us.
A knowledge of global businesses, economic activities, millionaires and billionaires. From the .com era to the globe, join us from 11:30 a.m. to 12 p.m.
Welcome, and we will be taking it as a global health concern. The TB and HIV focal person for the Akwa Ibom State Ministry of Health. About 1.9 million people are infected with this infection, and currently there are about 509, and also putting our focus to Akwa Ibom State, which is beyond the TB and HIV focal person Akwa Ibom State Ministry. Tuberculosis as a global health concern.
Chronic infectious disease. This was discussed a very serious challenge globally. And tuberculosis include persistent cough for 2 weeks or more. When I talk about drenching night sweat, I mean when one is sleeping, tuberculosis. Another one is weight loss, tuberculosis. And all this, and he expels these aerosols. We have the type of TB that we call latent, that is the one that we call active tuberculosis. Okay, the one that is latent simply means one is exposed. You have not developed the signs and symptoms. You will begin to show the signs and symptoms of tuberculosis.
The air, like picks up
germs. Yes.
Does that suppress their contraction?
They are breathing in the same air. So we are all exposed to it. Who have TB patients in their homes, that will actually help that person such that he or she will carriers. They are latent carriers of TB, but in no way they cannot,
Some misconceptions that we do here.
Okay.
So tuberculosis does not only
affect the lungs. We call it pulmonary tuberculosis, and the ones that affect outside the tuberculosis. So someone that has pulmonary TB is the one pulmonary. The TB that it affects other organs of the body, they don't stand a chance of.
State. They refer it to as a deadly crime in some parts of Akwa Ibom State. So
just like what you have mentioned now, one of the mates, a father or mother has TB, that child will also have with the parents. So it is not hereditary. That is not true. TB is treatable in period.
Okay.
So let's talk about numbers. Every year, around 245,000 minors. I know that we have people in local facilities, TB in Akwa Ibom State. How has it been handled?
The Akwa Ibom in particular had about notified. And even this year as we speak, so far prayer has been put in place to ensure that all services, and we are trying to let people know that TB to know 28 good and see in that TB service.
For people that are because of exposure.
And are all aware of the even if you are a health worker, that is the cause of helping us.
I would like to ask, we saw enlighten the people about, I think that only happens with locations like Plaza, go get a proper screening for tuberculosis.
One will exactly know what is the problem the person in, the kind of cough you have. You may not know the right way they can get the right care for TB. They now see how they can get access to
some of these services, some of this treatment, and also
mention some of them in Uyo here in particular. If you go to like all the PHC, like Senator Neshu.
What are the triggers for tuberculosis? I know COVID-19 is a pandemic, so it's
well, there are so many risk factors of TB transmission. Is in that room or in that office, the person who are bound to, contract that infection. So the person that has pulmonary tuberculosis. And after being developed TB, those things that, young children, their immune system is trying to develop, and our tuberculosis.
So is it like a myth or is it a real thing? People say tuberculosis.
Yes, already HIV. So that is why you see some people that have HIV, them that the immune system has been suppressed completely. Preventive therapy, TPT, so that it can.
And they have been already diagnosed that, oh yes, you have TB. So what about when we talk about stigmatization side by side?
Okay, so one of the ways that can help mitigate it in the church, everywhere all we need to do is to ensure that tuberculosis. So creation of awareness will help. And presently we have so many people who have that testimony to come and share their experiences, to let these people know that people should come to know that TB is curable.
These can resurface again. Some people might be afraid of, you've handled the myth that tuberculosis, hygiene measures that will not expose you to the disease.
Declare cured. If you don't come in contact with the person and measures that will help you to, not to get it, you see how you can try and avoid that. So these precautions, you will not come down with TB.
I heard that for the pulmonary tuberculosis, it takes like 6 months, but I just wanted to be sure.
Tuberculosis, it lasts for 6 parts of the body. like the bone, like the brain, the treatment for 12 months. There's another one we call drug break, and the person seems not to respond to treatment with those during the first treatment, and will now change
in 11 months. So the person has to take this drug consistently.
On treatment for HIV/AIDS, it's not so. I think wants to get in wholly healed.
Yes, that is why before we start, our client, that could be a friend, could be a pastor that will always be there. Take the first day, the second day, and we might forget.
We give up.
We want to always guide you and make sure that you take the drugs at the right
related issues. You have given us a really beautiful picture of the fact that state support with regards to tuberculosis not have the backing of the state government. So an evaluation.
The government, I can say Udom Emmanuel facilities, we don't lack manpower. We have people limitations in getting it, but on ground also to take care of so many issues.
Rates for case findings.
Well, the sucks. I want to believe that as all hands say that we should all invest losses.
Okay, we have a call and we'll take the call at this time. Hello? Can you hear us? So there is something about we just face with communities and bring this test and the test results. Maybe falsify should be the right word.
Still battling with HIV.
Yes, they have not been done to actually have that kind of coverage, because we can't say that in Akwa Ibom State we have 6,000.
When it comes to not temper with, it will just print the results and you see that this place that can help check all these we send out.
Okay, tuberculosis as a global effective coverage for how tuberculosis is between the span of 6 months to 9 months, depending on the